The first woman to serve on the United States Supreme Court has passed away. Sandra O'Connor died today due to complications with advanced dementia and a respiratory illness. The moderate conservative broke barriers and was often the deciding vote in some of the court's most controversial cases. She was 93 years old. O'Connor's death came just after the conclusion of the nearly month-long production of Sisters-in-Law by the Jewish Repertory Theater. It's a play about the relationship between O'Connor and the second female Supreme Court Justice, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Joining us now, Priscilla Young-Anker, who portrayed O'Connor in this tale of two polar opposites who bonded. Priscilla, welcome to the 5:30.
Thank you.
You know, anytime you portray someone biographically, you have to kind of immerse yourself into the mind of that person.
Yes.
I'd like to ask you what you found when you got in there, or if you could tell me if you had perceptions about Sandra O'Connor that changed at all when you portrayed her.
My perceptions changed dramatically. I was in college when she was first went onto the court, and I was very liberally oriented, and I kind of dismissed her as she's a Republican. I'm not going to pay much attention. Once I began to look into her childhood, her philosophy, I gained enormous respect for the woman, for her humanity, for her intellect. And I began to respect her way of moving issues forward, where a lot of people wanted to just get things done right away. And she was a master at just incremental change, moving the issues forward in areas that I would agree with, but very slowly.
And deliberate.
Very deliberate.
Yeah. Earlier this year, of course, you also played another strong female trailblazer. That'd be former Texas Governor Ann Richards.
Yes.
Did you notice anything that these women both shared that helped them thrive in a system that at the time, and even some would say still today, is male-dominated?
They both believed they could do anything. They both had very strong parents who basically taught them that it didn't matter that they were a woman. They could do anything they wanted to in life and should do. If they did not achieve, they failed. And neither woman was comfortable with failure. They were very self-assured. They knew how to read a room very well. They knew how to deal with men in power, and to gain their respect and to gain their alliance, which was instrumental, I think, in both women succeeding the way they did.
Sure, I bet it was. And of course, we want to thank you as someone who actually had to portray her. And if we could talk about her all day long, but it's interesting that someone who had to actually, like we started the interview, get in their mind and become them, more or less. So, enjoyable role? Was it an easy role to portray?
It was not easy. Not at all. She's a very different person than I am. She's very different physically. She carries herself very differently. But it was a joy. It was an absolute joy to do.
Right. Priscilla Young-Anker, thank you so much for stopping by the 5:30.